And good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. It's actually Town of Old Saybrook night tonight on the Pete Mezzetti Show, and we're going to talk about the Old Saybrook Youth and Family Services Bureau. And with me to talk about what's going on with the Bureau are Heather and Wendy from Youth and Family Services.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
Good. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Wendy. How are you? Good to see you guys again. How's everybody been?
Really good. Time flies.
It does fly.
Yeah, a lot going on. A lot of change and growth and all good stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about change, growth, and all that good stuff within the next half hour.
Okay, great.
So, Heather, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been executive director for the agency.
Sure. I've been at the agency since March of 2010.
Okay.
And I'm a clinical director as well as the agency administrative director. So my background is in marriage and family therapy and drug and alcohol rehab counseling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you like what you do.
I love what I do. It's a great town to work with. I work with a great team of people at the agency. It's always different and changing, and I really love it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a program coordinator.
Okay.
I've been with the agency for 13 years.
Wow.
I know. I don't know where the time has gone.
I know.
But I'm sorry, Heather. I've got the best job in town. I really do. I work with youth in our community, primarily high school students, but middle schoolers as well, and work on positive youth development, having positive things to do, and really looking for some of those things, those outlets for our youth in ways that they can give back to the community. And we do that together.
Now tell us a little bit about, I know I'm looking at my research for tonight and we have an event coming up, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But let's talk about exactly what the organization does, and specifically with the summer winding down, everybody getting ready to go back to school. Obviously you guys are a year-round organization and probably busy and pretty busy during the summer.
We are. There's over 100 youth service bureaus in the state of Connecticut, and Old Saybrook Youth and Family combines social services with positive youth development and peer substance abuse prevention. So we work with parents, we work with students within the schools, very closely aligned with the school system. We offer services within the school, and then throughout the summer, we keep kids connected that we usually see within the school year, and so that they don't lose a lot of ground that they've gained during the school year. So we provide emotion regulation groups, conflict resolution, anger management, all of those kinds of things.
Wow. You guys are very busy.
It is busy.
It is.
Yeah.
And what do you have? How about you and your part of the organization?
Part of the summer equation.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm just coming off of a real exciting program that we've done now for 16 years. It predates me, and that's our Summer Stock Theater program. And that engages students, middle school students, in a 2-week program where in the matter of 2 weeks, we take a show from beginning through its rehearsals and put on a show at the end of 2 weeks. And the kids just put on, did Frozen.
Okay.
And we had 28 middle school students, and it was an amazing show. And they do everything. They do the props, the set, costume design. It's a musical, so they're learning all of the lines, all of the music, and it's a fun experience, and it's a way for students to find themselves on stage who may not ever have done that before.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a great way. Oh, it's a great deal of fun. It was a lot of fun. We had some students who came into the program saying, no, I only want to do set. I don't want to be on stage at all. And would you know, every student was on stage, front and center at some point during the show. So it's really exciting.
Cool.
Yes.
How was the show?
Well, you're asking me. I think it was amazing. I'm a little biased, but the kids always pull it off in such an amazing way. They're engaged, they're excited, and it's a little something different to do during the summer. There are other theater programs, but ours really focuses more kind of on the interactions between the students themselves. We do a lot more games, theater games, other games, to engage them with one another. So it has a little different flair than some of the other theater programs may.
Cool.
And a lot of our youth programming is about relationship building.
Right.
So it's about forming relationships that kids can rely on when they go to school, whether it's adult to child or student to student.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
You guys are a very busy organization.
We are.
You are.
We are.
And from what I understand is we have an event coming up.
We do. Community Day.
Yeah, tell me.
In September 21st, and it used to be called Family Day, and it aligned with kind of the National Family Day around the country.
Right.
But we decided to call it Community Day to really include every member of the community who may not see themselves as part of a traditional family. So we wanted to change the name and kind of rebrand it. And so it still has a lot of the same characteristics that the Family Day had. It's a very low-cost event for people to attend. We don't want to have anybody excluded from being able to come, so there are free things for them to be involved in with kids. We have community partners, business partners who come, and we have a wellness area, so it's a wellness marketplace. So people who may make or sell products having to do with wellness, whether it's yoga mats or jewelry or essential oils, people can come and go to that area. And I'll let Wendy describe some of the other parts of it.
Sure. And then some of the other areas that have been consistent since it was Family Day are the inflatables that, of course, the kids migrate to and have a wonderful time on, which is great to see.
There you go.
We've had National Guard has been there and present and brought their inflatables the last couple of years. So that's been a wonderful addition. But we've had events there we've had therapy dogs there, which are appeal to people of all ages, which is wonderful. We have been incorporating more events for perhaps some of those that might be more senior in our population. We have the remote controlled airplanes that run in the back field behind our Park and Rec department. Sure. And that's a great thing that people of all generations can really come and see how they work. And last year they had the goggles that people could put on and actually get a bird's eye view of everything that was happening from the planes flying above. That was a really cool event. We've also invited an antique and collector cars to come, and they'll be out front in front of the Kate. So those who are into that kind of entertainment, there'll be some unique vehicles that will be on display there as well. We have someone.
As you can say, the centerpiece of the project this year is called If I Had the Courage, I Would. So it's the Courage Wall designed by Nancy Belmont from Virginia.
Okay.
And it's a community interactive art project so that everybody who comes to the Green that day is invited to write on the board, if I had the courage, I would. And whatever they write, I'd learn to dance or I'd skydive. And we also partner with the Old Saybrook Early Childhood Council, whose book is Say Something by Peter Reynolds. And every student from kindergarten through 3rd grade in the Old Saybrook Public School System will be reading this book, and they're going to come and be involved in a project on the Green that morning. So, and a little secret, but I'm going to tell you, Pete, because I like you so much.
All right.
But Peter Reynolds, the author, we're hoping that he'll be in attendance that day as well.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
We haven't met him, but we really like the book, and we're just hoping he'll come because then the kids get really excited. But all the kids in the school read the book that we had last year, and it was really nice because once kids are involved, then their parents come too.
Now, how did the idea of the event come about?
The Courage Wall?
Yes.
Well, last year we did the Unity Poll, and we found that when people have something that they can be involved with at an event, they're more likely. And it was kind of unique in the sense that they actually had to move around and get involved. And that's what Say Something is about too. It's about feeling comfortable enough to be who you are within the community where you live and get to know other people.
And part of our concept around Community Day is bringing us together as one community and identifying some of the commonalities and some of those things that make us unique as the community of Old Saybrook. So last year, with it being the Unity Poll, we really were emphasizing those things that made us individuals, but yet brought us together and wove us into the simple fabric of Old Saybrook. This year, we're doing a similar thing with the idea of courage. And courage is something that we all experience in different levels and in different ways, from our very youngest to our most senior residents, are experiencing moments of courage in their lives. And we really want to highlight that and applaud people for stepping out and having the courage to be themselves and having the courage to step forward when necessary.
Exactly. Wow, you guys sound like you're a very busy organization.
It's fun though, you should come work there.
That it is.
It is. Is it? Or I should show up on
Family Day.
We're counting on
Community
you.
Day.
Community Day.
We're counting on you, Pete.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a seat already prepared for you.
Okay.
It's Saturday the 21st of September from 1 to 4, right on the town green in Old Saybrook. And we utilize all of the area behind Park and Rec as well, because we work with all the other town departments. The police department are always there.
Okay.
Fire department is always present. The Rotary Club will be there cooking hot dogs and hamburgers, and So
We'll have demonstrations going on throughout the day. There'll be dancers and singers. We'll have a karaoke time for people to come up with an open mic that wish to show off their vocal skills.
Wow.
See a little bit of everything for that day. And businesses who would like to participate are welcome to do so. They can go right out to our website and get further information there on how to register to be part of the day, whether they would like to be part of the marketplace or they may be something that's that they'd like to do, providing an activity for families to do as they come. I know Mike the barber always comes and he's had a ring toss that he does each year there. So it does not have to be specific to your business, but just being there and being part of, again, the fabric of our community. This is a time to come together and celebrate that.
Cool. Would you guys mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure. Love to.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Wendy and Heather from Old Saybrook Youth and Family. Guys, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we talked a little bit about in the first segment about what exactly the organization is, but for those of everybody just joining us, I was wondering if we can start from the top and tell us a little bit about Old Saybrook Youth and Family.
Sure. Our agency provides clinical services within the community, so counseling for individuals, couples, families, and groups, also within the school and also within the agency. And then we have social services, which is food, clothing, shelter, really kind of basic needs. And Susan Consoli is the coordinator for that department.
Okay.
And then positive youth development, and that's where our program coordinators come in. And all of those areas at one time or another overlap. We work very closely with the schools, and they may identify a youth who needs help with accessing some sports equipment, and their family doesn't have the resources for that. So we might get a call, and then social services can help by providing some resources so that that child can be involved. Because what we really want is for kids and adults to be active and involved and engaged in what the community is doing. And when people are isolated and we don't know that they need help, that's when communication is so vital.
Wendy, do you have a favorite part of your job?
Oh, that's tough because
I thought it was being on with Pete Mezzetti.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
this
there
is
we
part
go.
of it. Sure, absolutely.
Part of it? Yes.
I do love being out in the community, and I love interacting with, of course, the students. I mean, that's my first love is being a part of their bridge, shall I say, to community involvement, and finding ways that they can give back to the community, and finding ways to let them shine. That's really the heart of it.
Heather, you have a favorite part of your job?
I really can't narrow it down.
All right.
It's
Fair
so
enough.
it's so different all the time. And when we work with the schools and they help us identify a need within the community, and we get to design a program related to that. Currently, as you know and are aware, substance use and opioids is such a crisis in the country. And we're really designing some programs and interventions in the fall for suicide risk assessment and intervention. So we're always looking for ways to, first of all, delay underage use of any sort of substance, but also provide some resources for students who are feeling, either depressed or anxious or overwhelmed. And that's an important part of our work.
Now, as far as the school year is going to start here in a couple of weeks, Once the school year starts, what's the agency like? You guys are, I'm assuming, very hands-on with the school system and what's going on throughout the year.
We really kick off the year with our freshman retreat, which is when we take the entire freshman class to Camp Hazen for an overnight program.
Oh, sure.
Which is, I think we're going into our 12th year doing that.
Okay.
And we also take some of our Youth Action Council members who are seniors now as cabin guides and mentors for that program.
Oh, cool.
And would you like to say anything about that program?
Yeah, go for it.
It is a rather, it was an innovative program when we began it 12 years ago, and it has been such a successful program that I know has been modeled by other communities in the shoreline area. It's an opportunity for the freshman class to come in and really shed anything they care to shed from middle school and start fresh as a class. And they come together, it's challenged by choice, so no students are in a position of having to do something they're truly uncomfortable with, and yet we do encourage all freshmen coming in to push themselves a little bit further than they may have done previously. Absolutely. And it's a time for them to get to know some of the students in their class in a way that they may never have done when they're in middle school. And we find that this is really important as students are going through that most important transition from middle school to high school. And statistically, in a student's school career, that is where the largest challenges have been identified. So this is our attempt to help blend that transition much more fluidly.
And some school teachers and administrators join us for that. So it's really a partnership between the two organizations.
Oh, cool.
And the kids get to see us in a different way as well. And that way, when they're in school, they have friendly faces they can turn to when they need help, and when they're in the community, they know us very well as well.
I was going to say, I'm assuming you guys make a presence during the school year.
We do. And with our Youth Action Council, we meet 1 to 2 times a month with students from grades 9 through 12. And that's for students, any student in Old Saybrook, even if they attend a school out of district or are homeschooled, they can be part of Youth Action Council. So it's a group where, we have a lot of goofy fun and we play games, but we also have a sit-down meal, and we have a grant from the Public Health Nursing Board to provide healthy snacks and food for our group. And then we sometimes go on trips like to Salem, Massachusetts, or New York or Boston, because some of our kids don't really get out very far, or parents are, everybody's busy.
Yeah.
And so taking a group of kids to New York is always an adventure, but it exposes them to, kind of multicultural aspects. And so that's fun. And Youth Action Council, we're going into our 5th year now. And at one time we had about 37% of the high school as registered members of Youth Action Council. So it's actually a very large pro-social extracurricular activity.
Wow.
Yeah, for kids who may not be in band or sports or any other thing, sometimes Youth Action Council is their only extracurricular, which is great.
And things with the Youth Action Council, I'm assuming you're getting ready to get geared up, because again, we're getting ready to go back to school here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and of course the message is always, about healthy choices, healthy decision making, substance prevention, but we disguise it in a lot of fun and goofiness, right?
And they play a large role in our community day as well that we spoke of earlier. They do help man many of the booths. They're there with their yellow shirts on, helping us with some of the lawn games and being the go-to people to help organize that day as well. So there are things such as that they do to be involved in the community once again. Right.
Wow. Again, Community Day, when?
September 21st, 1 to 4 on the town green. The rain date is the next day.
Shh.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're not going to jinx it, but we have to have a rain day.
Now, has it ever rained on Community Day?
Not in recent memory.
No?
We don't want to talk about that because it can't happen.
Right.
All right.
We have a history of it, but we're going way back, so we're not gonna jinx this one.
All right.
But it has, which is why we've learned enough to have the day set aside as a possible rain day. But hopefully we won't need it.
But there's going to be food, fun. We have a rehabbed camper, and there's a girl. She's 21 years old. It's called Adventuring with Lola. She took a camper and she totally redid it, and she travels all over the country, and she'll be there with her friend and letting people walk through the trailer and see what it's like to live. You know the tiny home phase? It's very big right now. And so she's coming to that, and it'll be on the green and people can go in and check it out.
Cool.
Yep. Right. And we might have therapy goats. I know, therapy goats. They're so cute.
Goats?
Therapy goats and a little pig and a rabbit. Because kids love to touch animals.
Yeah.
Where'd you get goats from?
Killingworth.
There you, well, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep. Have you heard of goat yoga?
No.
Okay, so it's similar to that. Little tiny goats.
Okay.
And they use them as therapy pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So there's a wide variety of things. I don't think anybody who comes to that won't have something that they're drawn to.
Right.
To do.
Right.
Or if somebody won't have a good time either.
Right. Right.
Because you never know who might show up that day.
That's true. That's true.
I think I might even show up.
That would be great.
I was going
We'd
to
love
say,
to see
I
you.
might have to.
I tell you,
And
people have a chair waiting for you.
Yeah. All right. There's going to be.
Our town officials always come, and
right.
it's always fun.
We will also have a booth there with a group that's a subgroup. It's a breakout group from our Youth Action Council.
Okay.
Those are our E3 members, and I wanted to talk a little bit, if I could, about them.
Yeah, go for it.
E3 is a group that's sponsored by the Governor's Prevention Partnership and the Department of Transportation. And there are E3 groups, I believe there are 13 of them throughout the state of Connecticut. We are being one of the first groups to form here in Old Saybrook. Last year we had 15 members of our E3 group, and this is a youth prevention corps. And they are trained to then be youth facilitators and go into the health classes at the high school, but they also have their own sessions and their own outreach programs through which they talk about prevention issues that are of meaning to them.
Right.
And it's really a great group of active youth who really believe in their message, in making good choices, and helping their peers to make good choices. We talk about values. We talk about peer pressure. We talk about how to make a good decision and what a good decision looks like. The Department of Transportation is involved due to the high levels of students riding in cars with an inebriated or intoxicated or otherwise impaired driving.
Okay.
So therefore, that's also a focus of what we talk about, is how to make that good decision when we're faced in challenging situations. So it's a wonderful group of students that I work with, and I wanted to give a little shout out to them.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll be at Family Day, Community Day, there, and with some of their materials, and just talking a little bit about what they do.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a very awesome group.
It is. It is. They're really dedicated to their cause. We meet several times a month at Youth and Family Services.
Okay.
It is also a group that is open to Old Saybrook students.
Right.
They do not have to be members of Youth Action Council. As I say, it's a subgroup of YAC, so most of them are, but it's not a requirement. And if any students were interested in joining us, they certainly are welcome to do so.
Cool.
And they've been invited to present to a statewide organization, Connecticut Association of Prevention Professionals, which is really an honor for students of that age range.
Right.
And they did a wonderful job. And then one of their programs also was recognized with a statewide award. They did a anti-vaping campaign, which was very well received.
How'd that go?
It went really well.
Really well.
Wendy helped design with the kids table tents for restaurants in Old Saybrook. It had facts about vaping and research on it, and it was on the tables of how many restaurants?
13.
13.
13 restaurants in town.
Yeah, it was very
Cool.
popular.
Right. So that was a great feat for them. It was really their doing. I was simply the facilitator there for them, but it was really their concept, and to get it out there and to talk to those restaurants and have permission to put it on the tables. And it really was designed to start the conversation. It was a quiz that they could have a question and answers on both sides of that table tent. And that's really what they aim to do, is start the conversation.
And you know, substances are changing so fast, it's hard to
yeah.
get out in front of the trends.
Oh, totally.
But having students of this age, they're really, they have their ear to the ground. You know, the newest things that are happening are hitting our kids. And these are a group of students that are not afraid to talk to us about it, which is so important. And that's why we spend so much time with them, besides the fact we really like them. But the more comfortable they are with us, the more apt they are to talk to us about things that are going on.
Now, if people want more information on your agency, where can they go?
Sure. We have a website. It's osyfs.org. They're welcome to go there. It's very interactive, and it's part of the town website. They can certainly stop by and visit us anytime. We're right next to the firehouse in Old Saybrook. Sure. And yeah, absolutely.
And what types of information can people find on the website?
They can find out any of the upcoming programs. For instance, we're going to Waterfire in Providence on Saturday. If you're free, we're taking a bus trip. It's a full,
what's
it's a
water
full
fire?
lighting. It's the Providence River, and
Okay.
there's torches in the middle, and so it's a full lighting. So there's live music, food trucks, all
Yeah.
kinds of things, and we're leaving from the Old Saybrook High School.
I was going to say, they do this similar program in the winter, don't they?
They do. I
Yeah,
think they do it
okay.
like 10 times a year, I think.
Okay.
And then next Tuesday we have a sailing trip on the Soundwater 80-foot schooner for
Cool.
grades 3 through 6, and people can call us at 860-395-3190 to sign their children up for that. And a lot of those programs, we do make it open to other area town
Yeah,
members
sure.
as well, not just Old Saybrook.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Because we like to make new friends too.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are a very busy organization,
Yeah.
which I guess is a good
We
thing.
do.
Yeah.
It is. It is. We do a lot, but we have a lot of fun
We
doing it.
We do.
We do.
You do. You
Well,
do.
we share a lot of resources with other
Other
youth
towns?
service bureaus. Westbrook Youth and Family we work very closely with, Tri-Town and Deep River.
Yep.
So, yep.
We've got a little bit more time left, and before we say goodnight, event one more time in September. When?
Community Day, Saturday, September 21st, 1 to 4 on the Old Saybrook Town Green.
And what can people expect to see? You never know.
You never know. Therapy Goats, a lot of fun kids who've read the book for One Book, One Town called Say Something.
Yep.
If I had the courage, I would. Courage Wall.
Okay.
And there is a link on YouTube to look up the Courage
Yep,
Wall.
I actually saw that.
Great.
You sent that to me.
And so there'll be food, fun, friends.
Cool.
Yeah.
And a fantastic time for all.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Guys, we're about to run out of time, but
Okay.
before we do, I want to thank you guys for coming down. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
Ricky,
Thanks so
thank
much for
you.
having us.
On behalf of Heather and Wendy, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time.